Up random rockers. Switchfoot. Where the light shines through. A little bit more detail if you need to see what it looks like. A little more up close. If you haven't already seen the album cover before you've seen this review already. Alright? Alright. Alright. Now. Fading West was garbage. It was garbage. Just as an album as a whole, it was garbage. It just brought something, it did bring something different, but it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like Switchfoot at all, like a Switchfoot album, and that's really what hurts it. And apparently the fact that people griped about Oh Gravity really does make me mad. This album is a follow-up to that record, and the real question is, does it capture that magic? Well, the first time I started listening to this album, and the track that I was anticipating to be great, thanks to John from ARTV, if you haven't subscribed to him already at this point, I guess you will now, but I actually tend to agree with him most of the time when it comes to Chevelle, actually, and usually with Switchfoot. Sure, I guess I agree for Switchfoot that, sure, by the time of Hello Hurricane, Vice Versa's era of the band, they may as well have been playing it safe, but they still was something there that you could get yourself into, just like the past 6 albums prior to. And Fading West sucked really bad, and now we have this album. Because Hope and Holy Water, because Hope it deserves an answer. Get something I can feel this time. I want to rain dance for real. Wash the dust of dirty wheels. Give me the waters that could help me heal. Hold me down. Give me the waters that could help me heal. Hold me down. Let the rain come down. On the thirsty ground, let the rains come down. I want to drink the clouds like holy water. There's not really, I mean, the way this song was done, it was so much, it felt so much at the time, like, I couldn't even get into it, and that kind of threw me off as well from wanting to review it sooner. And I knew I had to listen to it a certain particular way via headphones, which is probably the best way to listen to it at this point if you're wanting to get more of a Switchfoot feel, I guess. And if you're using iTunes, I guess that helps, like I sometimes do. Or most of the time do. And of course, I mean, the track's Float's not bad for what it is, I guess. It's not a nice little funky little tune to it. The title track really just brings out some of that classic tracks, like the title track Where Lights Shine Through, and I Won't Let You Go does stuff. And If the House Burns Down Tonight is something slightly, it's quite an interesting track in and of itself for what it is. The same can be said for The Day That I Found God God Shake This Feeling. Bull and China Shop, I mean, but Live It Well for me was actually, sure, you could put it as another contemporary type, but it really does work for what it is as a song. But the following track, Looking for America, was just... This is a feature with Lecrae. Now, I have seen Lecrae live. He's pretty solid for what he is as a hip-hop artist in the Christian hip-hop scene. Loving the way he does that Jesus music. And, except here, he just does not fit with Switchfoot at all. And lyrically speaking, it's, from what this is, it's basically, something I've already heard, more blunt and just obvious via freaking via freaking Pillar with Indivisible. Is what it reminds. It's kind of where this track kind of is the same concept that they're going for. Though I've heard them do better songwriting from John Foreman with tracks like Politicians, or with tracks from past albums like Politicians, of course, American Dream, and selling, and in a more another political type statement, selling the news off Vice, selling news off Vice versus Politicians from Nothing is Sound, American Dream from Oh Gravity. They were just much better done, and those are the tracks I would rather you recommend than listening to Looking for America. But Live It Well is just an awesome song. Live it well, wanna live it well. Take the burden from my arms, take the anchors off my lungs, take me broken and make me one. Break the silence and make it a song. Life is short, I want to live it well. One life, one story to tell. Life short, I want to live it well, and you're the one I'm living for. Awaken, oh my soul. Every breath that you take is a miracle. Life is short, I want to live it well. I want to sing with all my heart, a lifelong song, even if some notes come out right and some come out wrong. Because I can't take none of that through the door. I'm living for more than just a funeral. I want burn brighter than the dawn. The chorus then kicks in again. And then, of course, the bridge says, I got one life and one love. I got one voice, but maybe that's enough. Because with one heartbeat and two hands to give, I got one shot, one life to live. Life to live. Every breath you take is a miracle. Life is short. I want to live it well. I mean, for what it is, as something that would fit for more of a contemporary Christian type thing, it works for what it is, and it feels, and it's done in such a way that it comes across, though I feel like on its own it works more in the context of what, in that dare you to move kind of way, or love is a movement type of vibe to it, you know, which is pretty good, which is something that I haven't gotten out of Switchfoot in a while, but didn't necessarily have to, because they found ways to still be fun and have you still sing along to their lyrics and really get into them. It's just there is something always captivating about them for 8 albums straight, and then Fading West, just I wasn't able to do it. And this record, does it try to truly go back and live up to it, or does Fading West, what happened with Fading West, hold this album back? I mean, of course, then there's tracks like Hero of Souls and Hope is the Anthem that really are just the tracks that honestly close this album fine. But, and of course, I got the deluxe edition, though I did not get the pre-order like I thought I was going to. So I didn't get like the 2 other tracks I could have had. Bloodlines and there's something Sunshine, I don't remember. But come below and just leave it in the comments below and let me know about it, or find me a link to something so I can find a way to listen to this, because I don't know how else I will be able to. So, but I will say, Light and Heavy, I'm glad it didn't make the actual album cut floor, because it's not good. Begin Forever is actually really good. It's a really solid track that I feel like should have been on the album. The later track One Was the Last Time is good too, but I mean, it's better than Light and Heavy, but it's not near as good as Begin Forever. What did I think of this album overall? Well, what I think for Switchfoot is that they tried their best to go back to being that classic band, but try to do something different still, but at the same time, they really didn't. I mean, the Lecrae feature may have been, but it wasn't really a pleasant way of doing so, and it's not exactly like, I mean, would I go back to this? I would definitely think about going back to this record over Fading West any day. However, I can't say that I completely enjoyed it, because by the second listen, when I finally did listen to it all the way through, I actually had a little bit more of a chance to enjoy it once I got past the holy water issue that was really like bothering me so freaking much because I was overhyped and oversold how great this song was supposed to be, and it just did not live up to that hype that I was given, thanks to John from ARTV, and that just pissed me off. And because it felt like it may as well have been mostly Fading West and then throw that in there. And it was like, what the hell were you talking about, dude? Like, that snippet that you used was the best part. That's it. But, I mean, that's changed a little bit, especially now that I've recently listened to Vice Verses, and I feel like this would have been the proper album to follow up Vice Verses. But at the same time, there are things that just don't work as well. And I feel like this album would have gotten even more heat than Fading West would have if it did. But because of Fading West's existence, this album is more justified to the extent of being a much better album, and that's all it is. It's just better than Fading West, but it just fails to reach the standards that the first 8 albums had held up for me, and are still listenable, and I can go back and still quote and want to sing along to these songs all the time. Maybe it takes time, and the fact that for it to reach that kind of level, and for that, I'm going to do something. I'm just going to tell you this, Tremonti, you're not the only one in my middle position now. For Switchfoot is going up there with you. Still debating on whether or not if I want to even put that up there. I'm actually thinking Dust might actually move over a little bit later. We'll see. I may have to listen to it again at some point before I can make that decision. But yeah, overall, just meh. It's like thumbs up, I guess, for making a better album. Thumbs up for making a better record, but just kind of, just kind of middle of the road for them. But it's not a terrible album. It's definitely at least worth checking out, and maybe you might like it better than I wound up enjoying it. But if I could say that I necessarily enjoyed it thoroughly, as opposed to those first 8 albums. Hell, yes, even the early years. This does feel early years, but it's just not. Even early years had a certain spunk and energy and funness to it that it just seems like Fading West completely sucked it out of them. And they tried to get it back, but it just seemed like they may have failed to do so. And maybe it's potentially a grower. And it's possible that maybe the fun is so buried deep that you just have to listen to it a bunch of times to get it, which is something Switchfoot is not normally known for. And that's why they've been such a good band, is because they weren't that kind. They were the band that was instantaneously fun to listen to, even if their music was still somewhat same sounding in places. And yeah, Where the Light Shines Through from Switchfoot. What did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. If you liked what I had to say about this video, rock that like button. In this video, rock that like button with thrust if you must. And as always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and I will see you next time for something I should have done Sunday, but didn't. And then couple other albums. I will be doing something for Skillet, and like what I just said with the Chevelle one, Switchfoot will eventually at some point get a random rock countdown. Just sometime down the road. May have that and the Chevelle ones be before I do the Thrice one, because the Thrice one, I'm just gonna let that soak in and just have it simmer on y'all who just pretty well gave me my highest viewed video, which may not be much of anything, but it's a gradual growing. It's not building up as much. It's just gradually growing. It's at least like maybe over 185 maybe views. It's not much for just being a hobbyist for a YouTuber, but yeah, it's nice. Again, as always, guys, keep it random, keep it real, keep it rocking, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.